Kind of does look weird. It looks like it's just floating here, but I mean, it could be worse. It flare out whenever it look right in the light. I guess it just don't look right from that angle. Anyways, welcome back, hot dogs and donuts. Y'all already know it's Super Saturday, another day in paradise with your boy. So hell, we gonna do what we do. We're gonna talk about some Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, abridged, Broly, all of that. We're gonna talk about it all today. Cause guess what we talking about? Dragon Ball content. It's Super Saturdays. I wake up early on Saturdays just to talk about super content with y'all. Hopefully y'all enjoy it. If not, just go ahead and be a hater. Cause you know we need them too, right? Yeah, we got work for everybody. We got love for the haters, supporters, everybody. Big head chicks, you know what I mean? It don't matter. Can't wear fitted caps, we got you covered. Anyways, let's get straight to some videos because I ain't gonna talk y'all to death all day. Shouts out to the homie Tone over here doing it early, I see. Either that or he's up late. Either way, appreciate him for being out there. Y'all need to go check out the YD boys. Tone hit over 100,000 subs. I appreciate that part of the game, right? Right. You know, we ain't no hater. Hell, we a participator. I'll be over there plenty of time, just not right now. Shout out to anybody else that might be live right now that I didn't see either. Anyways, let's get straight to some DBZ content. We got some good old Vegeta moments today. You did some Vegeta with Jeeps.
Great. A dramatic entrance. Wow, Piccolo's power has gone way up. All right, out of my way. That's funny. You haven't changed at all. What were you doing in there? Taking a nap?
There's something I love about Ultra Ego, even though that may not be a popular opinion among some, because as we all know,
Look,
Ultra Ego,
Chris,
along
good
with
to see
everything
how you
else,
doing.
is not immune from criticism. So just like we always do, we are going to highlight the good and bad of Ultra Ego that I've experienced over the years. Yes, I say years. It's been that long since the debut of Ultra Ego.
Karina
I've come
Sosa,
across
what
some
up?
fans
Good to
talking
see how
about
you
the core
doing.
concept and mechanics of Ultra Ego, calling it a flawed gimmick. They say the take damage to grow stronger idea sounds good on paper, but it's impractical in execution. That Vegeta takes too much damage to benefit from the power increase before getting incapacitated. They talk about the diminishing returns, the rate of growth is too low compared to the damage sustained, making the form ineffective. But how do you guys feel about that? There's even comparisons to Ultra Instinct's evasion, where Ultra Ego lacks a
Oh,
healing
it's
or
another day in
recovery
paradise,
element,
man. If
making
you
it
see
a
me up early
Tekken-type
on a
boss if it
Saturday,
needs to endure
just know
damage.
that
But what I
I
want to say
am
straight off the
working
bat
and
in
happy
regards to all
to
that
be
that I
here.
heard is that when talking about
Do
Ultra
you a
Ego,
wrench,
we
man.
also
Get to
need
know
to
you
talk
some
about
people.
Granola and Gas, because that's the ones that the form has been put to the test against. And those two were extremely powerful. Extremely powerful. And although Ultra Ego did not defeat Granola and it did not defeat Gas, something important happened in both those fights. Vegeta was on the back foot
Karina
for most
Sosa,
of the
that's a
fight,
nameless
but the
profile.
Ultra
You don't
Ego
get a
form
wrench because you
allowed
ain't no
him to
content
close
creator.
massive gaps.
Sorry
To the
about
point
that.
Gas was really scared when Vegeta was about to hit him right at the end before his body burned out.
Chris have
That's
any
how much of a
content?
gap it closed.
I see a
So imagine
video.
Ultra
You
Ego
got a
Vegeta
one
against
video.
a
You
foe,
barely
where
made it,
both of
bro.
them
You
are the
barely
same
made it.
power when the
I
fight
need you to post some more
starts. And
content to
imagine
keep it
against a
rich, but you
foe
know how we
who
do.
doesn't gain back prowess like a Saiyan, they just fight with the power they have. Ultra Ego would completely wipe the floor with them. So I think it's unfair to judge Ultra Ego on the fights that it's had. We've only seen it in action one arc. Vegeta's only tested it that time. Imagine he has more practice with it. But again, Granola and Gas were very powerful, even if you refuse to like them. But still on topic of his mechanics, some feel like it was unclear how it actually works, or whether a power-up is retained after battle, but all you have to do with that is work out the scaling between the characters as the fight goes on, and you can clearly see Ultra Ego and Vegeta himself have grown stronger by the time they get to Gas after the Granola fight. Like I said, it's a great gap closer, and even better if you're fighting someone of equal strength, you're guaranteed to win, unless you make a really stupid mistake. Of course, one of the biggest complaints that I've heard is the poor debut and no wins. That Ultra Ego lost in all its major appearances, Gas, Granola, and Black Frieza, undermining its credibility and making it seem like just another power-up to get Vegeta beaten again. But there's way more to it than that, and wins don't necessarily mean something is good or bad. It's the entire situation you need to look at. Even though Super Saiyan 3 did not get a win in the Buu saga, without it, everybody would be dead much sooner. So I don't agree there's no narrative payoff, with some think that despite the thematic build-up, the form hasn't led to any meaningful character development, but that's untrue because when you watch the Granola fight and how Vegeta talks about the form during the end of that fight, you can piece all the puzzle together and you can see this character development there for Vegeta, in terms of his training, in terms of his character, and how he interacts with Granola. Another funny criticism that I've heard is it contradicts Vegeta's past growth. Where in the saga, Vegeta learned to avoid transformations that have weaknesses, but here, some feel like embracing a form that thrives on damage is seen as a regression, but that's untrue because it only proves that he's using a form with a massive advantage. You take damage, you gain a massive power-up. Who wouldn't want that? Characters get damaged in the fight all the time. Like I said, Granola was just extremely powerful. And believe it or not, I've even heard some people talk about it's a misplaced role. Yes, I have heard this one, that Ultra Ego would fit Goku better and Ultra Instinct would suit Vegeta due to their respective personalities and arcs. But let's move on to the design and visual critiques. Some talk about the recolor fatigue.
No, I don't agree with that because Goku's a cocky motherfucker when he starts to get cocky. So that's why he be letting his guard down anyway. It's like, oh, I could probably beat you, but I'm gonna forget that you're still strong enough to kill me if I let my guard down. Because that's what he forgets. Hey, if I let my guard down, I could be sniped, took out, anything. Guards down. I ain't ready, right? No, we're not ready.
Many criticize Ultra Ego as another lazy recolor of previous forms, like a purple Super Saiyan Blue, with little originality, and the no eyebrows, widely mocked, comparing it to the unfavorable Super Saiyan 3, and seen as an awkward aesthetic choice. All I'm going to say there is, I love Super Saiyan 3, and seeing the freaky face mode appear for Vegeta for the first time in the actual story, yes, I absolutely love that aesthetic. It's ugly, but that's the whole point. It's meant to look intimidating. An intimidating face does not look beautiful. Beautiful is Zarbon in his base form. Of course, in the comparison to Ultra Instinct, some talk about that UI has clear mechanics and benefits, where Ultra Ego's vague concept makes it feel less polished or powerful. But I feel if Goku and Vegeta fought each other, with their base powers are the same, I feel like early game Goku would dodge a lot of Vegeta's attacks. He would have to strike Vegeta, which would only cause Vegeta to gain power, and through that prowess, Vegeta's power and speed increase, and he would eventually outperform Ultra Instinct, because Ultra Instinct is also not 100% all of the time. Of course, when it comes to the name of Ultra Ego, some took a dislike into that name straight away, calling it lazy. I'll be honest, the name has grown on me. I wish that one day we get to see it animated, where a lot of anime fans dismiss Ultra Ego until they actually see it in the anime version, because not everybody reads the manga. Of the total Dragon Ball fans around the world, only the smaller portion.
And you know what we say: if you don't read the manga, more power to you, but don't be mad at the people that do. Okay, and then you get spoilers, and then spoilers are like, well, I don't even want to watch the show now because everybody done already told me what's gonna happen. Well, that's because your ass ain't keeping up with the manga. I mean, if you're keeping up with Dragon Ball, you should want to keep up with Dragon Ball. Don't just wait for the anime because the anime might not never return. But hey, if the manga's been here the whole damn time and you've been slacking, yeah, we gonna make fun of y'all for slacking. Y'all get made fun of. I mean, that's part of the game. You know what I mean? If you don't like that part of the game, do better. That's what being made fun of does. It teaches you to be better. Oh, if my little brother's gonna talk shit to me, I better make sure that the shit he's talking qualifies and fits, right? Right.
Reads and watches it. So I really do hope Ultra Ego gets that spotlight in anime form. Toyotaro's execution sometimes gets blamed. Fans occasionally blame him for poor storytelling and failing to develop the form or give it a payoff. But I think he did a superb job creating Ultra Ego. The form, the color scheme, the freaky face mode, the destruction energy, that all suits Vegeta. Being trained under Beerus whilst Goku's being trained under Whis. I like the contrast there. So yes, Ultra Ego is a conceptually interesting but poorly executed form for some that they think turns Vegeta into a damaged sponge with no strategic edge, visual flair, or narrative payoff, ultimately leaving some of those fans underwhelmed and disappointed. But like I said, I'm not one of those. Now, in contrast to the heavy criticism Ultra Ego has received, let's talk more about the positive aspects of the form that highlight its potential and strengths within Dragon Ball Super. Goku has more
I
practice.
know what that sound mean, right?
It's more polished, and Ultra Ego is still in the starting phase. is, but it does offer something unique.
He got his grinder grinding,
especially in terms of character alignment, philosophy, and
he say always smoking.
It's not just a power up; it aligns directly with Vegeta's prideful, aggressive, battle-hardened nature. Where Ultra Instinct requires calm, serenity, and a clear mind.
Appreciate the 5 thumbs up. See, that's why we don't even say it. We let y'all do it.
More fitting of a counterpart for Vegeta.
CB, my guy, what is up? Y'all better go check out that big homie. Appreciate you stopping by and saying hi. No, we keeping it fly on a Super Saturday. Hey, this is what we do, right? We wake up early just to get right back to the grind.
Ultra Ego is tied to the Hakai destruction power of the gods of destruction, suggesting immense potential once mastered. Once Ultra Ego is mastered, it will be lethal and final. Very fitting for Vegeta. Vegeta's pursuit of Ultra Ego reflects personal growth, as he tries to move beyond his past, his guilt, and also rivalry with Goku. It symbolizes him reclaiming his own identity, no longer following the path of Whis' teaching, Goku with Ultra Instinct, but forging his own. His acceptance of destruction as a path of strength is philosophically meaningful, showing he's not just evolving physically, but mentally and emotionally too. While some dislike the missing eyebrows, others find Ultra Egos look striking with sharp features, glowing aura, and intimidating expressions that exude power and menace. Vegeta's smirking, battle-crazed expressions are callbacks to his Saiyan pride and warrior roots, much like in the Saiyan saga, making Ultra Ego feel more primal and visceral than other forms. So many of the past criticisms stem from Ultra Ego's current incomplete state. Yes, it's been a long time. We are waiting a long time for Dragon Ball Super to get going again, but there's still not been a lot with Ultra Ego. So the form hasn't reached its true potential, but there are hints that Vegeta could master it more deeply, possibly by learning to heal mid-fight. For example, he could go back to Yardrat and learn some new techniques. He could improve his durability or minimize unnecessary damage, and also mastering the Hakai more creatively or efficiently, so a strong defense is a good offense. Much like how Ultra Instinct evolved from Sign to the perfected form, Ultra Ego may go through a similar evolution, so we may see another level of this state. To be honest, I find
we all know.
Battle. Conceptually, the concept.
We all know, if you listen to me, then of course you know that the next evolution is going to be, it's going to be similar to the Super Saiyan 4 form, because that's what's going to happen. It's going to be purple, miniaturized Zaru, and that's going to be the mastered UE. But we ain't going to talk about that right now, because hell, he got to get his tail back for that. Yeah, that's going to be his next deal. Like, well, you know what? I'm going to learn some healing techniques. And the first thing he's going to actually do, because Pybara already showed him how to heal other people, he's going to figure it out himself, because he's like, well, damn, I know how to do this and I know how to do that. So now I know, boom, it's going to click on. Then he's going to get his little healing capabilities to where, oh, I can instantly heal myself now. Because they're only nerfing him because once they give him that upgrade, guess what happens? It's hard to beat Vegeta whenever he upgrades. I mean, that's why they delaying that part of the game, right? Because once he actually masters his self-internal healing, first thing he's going to be able to do is reproduce his tail. Like, man, I can heal myself. Like, not all the way heal myself. Y'all just been healing damages. I can literally go back and bring my tail back type shit. But you know, that's that good storytelling that you have to actually have the capabilities of writing for, which, if you're a older guy who wanted to quit 50 years ago, you're not going to want to write that shit. So shout out to the people that want to write. I mean, I got a story for you. Like to hear it, here it goes.
Getting stronger the more you hurt adds an unpredictable risk-reward factor. Who doesn't love drama in Dragon Ball? The Kaioken and Super Saiyan 3 were some of the best fights because you knew there were risks involved. That keeps you on the edge of your seat. If you've got a perfect mastered form that does everything perfectly all of the time, I'll be honest, I won't be as excited. I love epic comebacks in fights, and seeing Vegeta rise from the brink to defeat or overpower a stronger foe, I'd love to see more of that. So while there are noticeable flaws in his current depiction, Ultra Ego is a bold step forward, making Vegeta totally different from Goku. If Toyotaro gives it more attention than it deserves, Ultra Ego could evolve into something more spectacular, just as impactful as Ultra Instinct in the Tournament of Power and the Moro arc, but from the opposite end of the philosophical spectrum. Please, let me go!
was even greater than I imagined.
Did I do that?
That's right. So are you finally beginning to understand?
Hey, shouts out to training with Piccolo. Hit the falls button. Oh, I got a couple smudges on my camera, man. Y'all gotta excuse my quality. Man. I'm trying to make sure it's crisp. Crisp L. Washington for you.
So, you find yourself on the unrelenting channel. How fortunate for you. I, Lord Freezer, will spare your life as long as you subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, don't forget to become a member of Unrelent Gaming's Patreon for tons of exclusive content to early access media and much more. Do it now, or else.
I know to go check out the original content creator because we just review his content at the moment. We appreciate that big homie.
Now, although with everyone's training having to intensify more and more with each passing moment, I can't help but begin to wonder on just how exactly the realm of the gods is going to respond to Vegeta's presence, especially now that he is about to submerge himself into being judged by that very same realm.
As our story now continues, following the initial training events involving both Goten, Trunks, and Piccolo on the Supreme Kai homeworld, following the Elder Kai having to awaken Goten and Trunks' potential on top of having to go and merge that with their already integrated Super Saiyan God powers, which it was only just upon with Orange Piccolo being shown having to battle against both Ultimate Super Saiyan God Goten and Ultimate Super Saiyan God Trunks was when the Supreme Kai went on to then grab onto the Elder Kai and then responding, "Ancestor, please, you've got to go and listen and move away from the battlefield, for it isn't safe for you to be within harm's way while they battle out there like this, and so I'll need for you to go and come with me while you can." To which, of course, this was solely on the shoulders of Goten and Trunks prior to having to disturb the Elder Kai after having to awaken their powers, was when the Elder Kai went on to then quickly respond, "Let go of me, Kai, for I ought to go and teach those numbskulls some respect after doing what they just did, and so let go of me! That Piccolo better go and beat some sense into those two rotten teenagers and instill some respect within them before I do," the Elder Kai continues, "because if I were to go and get my hands on them, then it'll be over," with the Supreme Kai responding, "Oh, you're just being ridiculous here, Ancestor, and just what exactly would you go and hope to accomplish here if I were to be reckless enough in having to let you go out there?" The Supreme Kai questions. "It's just crazy, Ancestor, and with how powerful the boys have become alongside with how freakishly powerful Piccolo had become since obtaining that orange form of his when he first did, then I would say for the time being, your best bet is to go and stay here with me until this is over, because otherwise, if you don't decide to go and listen to what it is that I say by keeping you here," the Supreme Kai continues, "and the chances of having something go and happen to you, even if it's not meant to be directed towards you specifically, would simply be too great and too dangerous to risk," the Supreme Kai says. But moreover, during this time, as Goten and Trunks were then preparing and having to unleash several energy attacks directed towards Orange Piccolo after Orange Piccolo was shown having to power up, was when Ultimate Super Saiyan God Trunks went on to then respond, "Oh, quickly now, Goten, let's go and channel our energy together by blasting him with endless energy waves before he goes on to notice, and let's try to make this fast because he isn't showing any signs of slowing down here against us either, and so we'll need to go and hit him right now while we still can," to which, as Trunks and Goten were shown doing exactly that, was when Goten went on to then quickly respond, "Right then, and so let's hurry and see how much damage we can go and do onto him before he goes and tries to do whatever he just did against us out here again," to which, of course, Goten and Trunks were not shown in having to waste any time whatsoever, because with Goten and Trunks being shown in having to continuously blast Orange Piccolo with countless energy waves, was when Trunks went on to then quickly respond, "Oh, I don't think that this is doing much of anything and directly having any sort of effect out here against him, Goten, and so any idea on what we're gonna go and try to use out there again
against him, with Goten responding, well, no, but whatever it is that we end up in having to go and do here, we can't stop blasting him until he either collapses from exhaustion or if he ends up in quitting altogether. To which, as Piccolo was then shown having to smile, was when Piccolo went on to then quickly respond, now this is more like it, but since you both seem to still have a very long way to go before either one of you are to go and be considered as true rivals to both myself along with your fathers, since you are both far stronger than how you were and are miles ahead from where it was that I had seen you both after dealing with Frieza and his brother when your fathers had arrived in dealing with the both of them, you better not go and let that power of yours get to your heads while you're out here against me, Orange Piccolo shouts, because if you simply aren't going to be good enough and having to go and hold your own against me just like your fathers would, Piccolo shouts, then you better go and pull yourselves together out here against me, because I won't be giving you second chances, as you should both already be made very well aware of by now, and since neither one of you appear to have what it takes to go and stand up against me as you are all on your own, then it'll only be a matter of a short time before I am to go and beat that god power out of both of you, with Trunks responding, and that's where you're wrong, Piccolo, because with all due respect to you and everything that it was that you had done to reach this point to where you are with your power now, Trunks adds, if there is one thing that you should have already known about by now, it's that no matter how many times you go and try, and no matter how hard you go and attempt to go and try to break us apart when we're alone, you should have went and thought twice than to go and take your eyes off of the both of us when you did, and since we only have about a few seconds left in order for us to go and finally put an end to this battle here against them once and for all, Trunks adds, then I'll need for you to watch my back while I go and see if I can figure out of some kind of a weakness for us to exploit before it's too... Wait, now hold on for just a minute there before you decide to go right after him again, Trunks Goten then went on to quickly shout, for this doesn't look to be the case where we can go and afford to make any more mistakes when battling against him, and since I think that we ought to go and restructure our approach before attacking him, Goten continues, we should hold off on going and trying to attack him separately for the time being, because fighting him as individuals will only guarantee our defeat if we aren't careful enough to attack him at the exact same time. And so what do you think that we should go and try to use against him next? Because with all things considered here, Goten continues, while our durability from the amalgamation might go and allow for us to survive for the time being, we'll need to go and form some kind of a counterattack and fast if we hope to actually go and beat him by the time this is all over and done with. And so any ideas on what you want to go and try here, Trunks? Well, even though it's not looking too good out there against him while we're here, Trunks went on to then quickly respond, from what you and I can already go and tell based on what it is that we have gone through here against them so far, it would seem as though our durability from the rituals merger has allowed for us to adapt and survive this long here against him, which is a big thing when considering on how we wouldn't have been able to go and match him before our current evolution, and so we'll need to go and strike with more combos now before we go and resort into having to go and use fusion to beat him. And so let's go and keep our ears to the ground at all times while we do this, Goten, as we'll be going and attack.
Now, remember, for those that are keeping track, Orange Piccolo is supposed to be equivalent to Tournament of Power Jiren. Shouts out to Jiren, because, he was that guy for like that hour.
Together because it's the only chance that we have at winning here, with Piccolo responding, so I see that not only have the two of you grown to become far more powerful and difficult to deal with than I imagined for the both of you to be when given all that it is that I know about you both, since the two of you appear to operate far more effectively when having to go and attack your opponent together rather than how you are when stuck and having to face them in battle alone. And then while we continue to go and push your fusion off to the side for the time being, Piccolo continues, then what do you say we go and continue to fight the way that we have been before we are to go and take our leave back to Earth, as I would like to go and try something since the three of us are already here, Piccolo says. To which all the while in the meantime, when then having to go back within the realm of the gods and having to oversee Beerus, Moltus Prime, and of course Vegeta now having to step forward and just about to enter into the waters of judgment, was when Moltus Prime went on to then quickly respond, and so now that you are made fully well aware of the stakes that await you, while also coming to fully understand on what your rewards will be that await for you if you are to find yourself in returning back to us in one piece rather than being swallowed by the shallows below, you may proceed by stepping on forward and entering onto the foundation by crossing over and away from my command, Moltus Prime. But understand, as I want for you to know, that this won't be for the faint of heart here either, as you won't be given a second chance if something were to go and suddenly happen to you down there either, Moltus says, for you will go and be given one chance and one chance only in order for you to go and do this,
and so you ought to make with what you have and cherish it while you can, because once you are down there, the only way that you will resurface is if the realm of the gods is to accept and approve of you, Vegeta. And so now relax your mind while I lower your vessel beneath the waves below you, mortals. So remember what you have learned and allow for Beerus's teachings to guide you when submerged below. For you shouldn't go and allow for this to get to you, Vegeta, for only through your unwavering commitment and obsession towards wanting to obtain the highest level of power imaginable under the official order of Destroyer will you ever go and be truly capable of reaching your ultimate goals, Saiyan. Well, I trust that Vegeta will know what to do if he goes and finds himself within a dire situation while submerged beneath the very depths of those waters below. Beerus went on to then chime in, but the sense of curiosity had now seemed to have piqued my interest here, because how are we to know exactly on if this will work or not, Venerable Prime? With Multus responding, there is but only one other way that we will be able to go and know for sure, and while we wait to see on if your student is truly worthy on coexisting alongside the rest of us, as I demand to know on why you had went and brought him here to train, along with what it is that this supposed tournament that you speak of is really all about. So you better start talking, Beerus, and don't even attempt to go and try to lie to me here either, Multus says. To which it was only all the while in the meantime, when then having to submerge ourselves in taking a look at Vegeta and seeing as to what he was doing down within the depths below, was when Vegeta had overseen many entities now beginning to surround him beneath these very waters, with Vegeta then having to then quickly say to himself, so this is what lies beneath the surface, as I had suspected to have felt the presence of others before submerging myself beneath these very waters, but how very unsettling it is to know that it doesn't appear as though I am alone down here, Vegeta continues, for the water itself almost feels as though it's a living entity all on its very own while here, but I mustn't go and waste any more time while I'm down here either, for this heavy sensation that I sense when looking back at these very piercing eyes that are staring back at me from the void almost feels a little eerily familiar in a very strange way, Vegeta went on to then continue, almost as if they feel as though they are the former kindred spirits of the gods who ruled over these worlds before us, who happen to have once existed long before the ones who rule over the omniverse today. But within this mass of insidious and mysterious energies that I'm sensing, Vegeta continues, there appears to be one energy signature that feels dangerously similar with my very own, as well as having it also feel far more complicated than I would have ever anticipated for this to go and be, in allowing for almost every moment to feel like a desperate battle for survival. And I want to know on why that is and why I am able to sense my presence within these waters from where I am, despite it having me just go and enter within it. And so now what exactly am I looking for and sent here to go and do? Because from the looks of it, based on what I can see and based on what I can sense, whatever that energy signature was that felt eerily enough like my very own is now looking as though it's circling its way back around from afar, for the pressure that I feel that is starting to now weigh me down beneath these very waters is both unimaginable and critical beyond one's very own comprehension, for these waters appear to be complicating everything to an extreme degree and amplifying the physical toll of the weight that I feel beneath these very waters, Vegeta continues, but it also looks as though the energy which appeared to resemble my own is finally starting to approach me, Vegeta adds. Yes, and now that I am able to go and see this entity up close and for myself to go and examine, I can't help but begin to wonder on why this entity appears to be devoid of all life when I try to search its feelings from deep within. For could this be the direct result of perhaps the evil that once lingered within my very heart and having it be made whole again, Vegeta questions? Or is this perhaps something more that I am just not able to fully understand yet, Vegeta continues? As strangely enough, I can feel as though whatever this is appears to not only be calling for me, as it requires for my touch in order for it to have purpose again. I find this sensation to be quite the different one, as I am prepared for the consequences that wait ahead, as I am ready to go and embrace whatever waits for me, Vegeta.
I mean, it's not really bad that you have to go back to being a destroyer to become a destroyer, but at the same point in time, you kind of move past that, Vegeta. Hey, you done married Bulma, take baths on a regular basis. At least he's smart enough not to take baths alone. Okay, I mean, I shower by myself, but I don't bathe alone. Nah, she's got to be there for that. She's definitely got to be there for that. Oh, you want me to take a bath with you? Yeah, go ahead. Go, yeah, put some bubbles in that deal. Yeah, ain't gonna be the only thing bubbling.
It
Yeah,
says,
yeah,
not
weeding.
only do I vow to never again allow for myself to ever be led down the path of mediocrity by falling behind in power like how I was shown in having to do many times once before, but with this upcoming tournament having to also ensure and having it be a spectacle that will be truly worthy and showcasing the strongest warriors throughout the annals of history, with only one emerging as its sole and absolute winner when this is all over. It'll be I who will walk away from this omniversal tournament as its undisputed winner by the end, and for that to happen, Vegeta continues, then I am willing to go and do whatever it will take if it means in having me accomplish my goals, Vegeta continues. And now that I know without a shadow of a doubt on what my destiny is meant to be, Vegeta continues, especially after having to go and meet with that elder sage and having him mention something about my next evolution having to be achieved through this sudden moment of when death finally reaches me, I am ready to go and accept this offering by a way of death if needed, so that I may go and achieve a power that no mortal warrior had ever lived to see throughout their lifetime. And if this ultimately means that I will need to undergo many more rituals and even come face to face with death itself, so that the gods of the highest order may finally go and accept me as I begin my transcendence, then so be it, because I'm ready. Which it was only within this very moment, back up on the surface, when then having to take a look and seeing as to what Beerus and Riccardi were up to, as Riccardi went on to then mock Beerus continuously, was when Riccardi went on to then address Beerus by responding, you know, Beerus, I've got to go and give it to you here on this one, because if this wasn't the most underwhelming ritual that I've ever witnessed in my entire time as a god of destruction, then I don't know what is, because just look at him, he's dead. Just as we had expected for him to end up in having to be, and so it's almost comical in a way. However, Beerus, perhaps it's time that you finally go and consider retirement here, Riccardi continues, because these endless naps of yours are clearly starting to affect your judgment, and since it clearly seems like you are unfit to govern, then you should simply go and save yourself the embarrassment and just hand over Universe 7 to a more fitting and cunning destroyer like myself as its overseer. Of course, being that I've always had my eye on ruling over Universe 7 before you were appointed as its current destroyer.
What up, Naomi? Good to see you. How you doing?
Chaos and mischief. And so why don't
Appreciate you
just
coming
go
by
and
saying
admit
hi.
that you have failed as a god, along with failing to find a successor that will truly go on to succeed you, and just hand over your operations to me instead. Come on, Beerus, you know you want to, with Multis Prime having to then chime in, and I wouldn't be so sure of yourself to go make such assumptions about the saying if I were you here, Riccardi, because even though while Beerus may have went and had spent his days just sleeping around and eating everything within his sights that he hadn't already taken interest in, Beerus's student here, on the other hand, does not appear as though he had undergone the same level of contempt that many of you destroyers are often plagued with, Multis continues, and while this doesn't appear to be the case with Vegeta, since the signs appear to all point in the opposite direction, I want for you to go and take a closer look, Multis continues, so that you can begin to go and understand on why Beerus had selected this mortal in serving to become his student, Riccardi, as you should be wise enough to go and search with your soul rather than just trust with what it is that you see with your eyes, because the result of this mortal's transgressions and what it is that he seeks to go and accomplish during this time when training with Lord Beerus should be very much more than obvious to the both of you right now, to which as Beerus went on to then oversee Vegeta emerging from the depths below, when Beerus went on to then quickly respond, so then if what you say is to be true in regards to what is about to go and happen with Vegeta, then surely this would mean that his fate within our realm has now officially concluded with some kind of a positive determination then, would it not, Venerable Prime? With Multis Prime responding, but of course, for it would seem as though not only do we now appear to have our answer on seeing if whether or not Vegeta is truly worthy of coexisting within our sacred realm as an anointed destroyer by the trials of judgment in which he currently faces and seems to have now completed, but on top of it all, Multis Prime continues, his nature now appears to be fully embraced and accepted by the waters of our ancestors, and so I would like to hereby go and congratulate you with the full weight of my authority, Vegeta, for not only are you the first ever mortal Saiyan to ever go and survive and succeed within the waters of our judgment and emerge through its acceptance as an equal, but because you are hereby now an official god by title, Multis continues, with an unofficial status of having to rule over any particular universe, given that you directly come and train under my son Beerus within Universe 7, until or unless Lord Beerus were to go and retire or appoint you
into some kind of a leading position and taking over as a direct overseer, then given with the circumstances of your acceptance and newly given status as being a destroyer, you will not only now be given the full and unrestricted entry within our realm's hidden archives of forbidden techniques reserved for proteges such as yourself to go and study and ultimately utilize Multis Prime continues, but you will now be able to also create a personal nexus chamber of your very own, similar to the training chamber that I found you within, that will allow for adjustable destroyer simulation training from within, and thus having to allow for this to not only be a personal sanctuary of sorts for you to go and train within Multis Prime continues, but with the seal of approval by our realm through its very creation of your newly forged and appointed destroyer's outfit now having to be given onto you, then not only does this affirm your legitimacy and granting you safe passage between our worlds whenever you just so choose to want to go and return again, but depending on where you will stand among our ranks when compared to the other gods of destruction, then if you are favorable enough in having to prove your worth by standing above certain gods in the aspects of power during your omniversal training with Lord Beerus, and as a result you will go and be granted the ability to go and command lesser and unattended destroyers such as minor attendants that dwell within these very chambers. Multis continues, along with being able to go and influence their direction and thus positioning you as more of a superior peer to Beerus.
Of course, Vegeta gets some new dread.
Rather than simply having to go and be an apprentice instead.
Goku gonna look like, see, this boy is playing God of Destruction. See, good to see it though, Vegeta. Hey, you needed a promotion.
This sacred realm with the likes of some barbarians such as him makes me utterly sick to my stomach to even have to go and listen to. And why? Because he's Beerus's underling, Ricardi went on to then say to himself. Because he harbors a mutation of sorts that places him within our ranks on the basis of some kind of technicality. For I have erased my way through entire empires, outwitting even the most formidable of enemies that would go and put this Saiyan to shame, and yet somehow I am now forced to just go and simply accept him as my equal? No, I don't think so. And since that's the case, Ricardi went on to then continue, then I'll go on to make sure that he remembers his place, and I'll do so by using every trick within my arsenal until he is begging for me to go and stop. And so I'll be damned if I go and let this inexperienced fleabag go and
He said,
tell
okay,
me what to do.
okay, he got a little
whether he was accepted by the
acceptance into the God's realm. Okay, he was already Super Saiyan God Satan. So, you know, red or blue, now he's purple. Official purple. Got his badge on him and all that. Judy ready to do his THIN. Look at him. He said shit.
As both yourself along with Beerus will go and follow me back into the training chambers where I had found you, because not only will this omniversal training of yours that Beerus here had placed you under continue in having me go and see as to what you can truly do when facing off against Beerus's system of destroyers in battle once again, but I also hereby now instruct for you to also join in, as you will be facing off against our mortal friend here in battle as well, Ricardi, so that way we may go and test the full extent of what this mortal is truly capable of. Multis Prime continues, and so do be sure to understand as to why you are being called into action here against Beerus's successor, Ricardi, as I will personally go and see to it myself that you are to go and take the Saiyan's place as next in line to rule over Beerus's universe should he retire or decide to go and walk away, but only if you are shown in having to be able to go and best him, since you have always been asking to go and take Beerus's place as God of Destruction within Universe 7, and so now you will, such is the case, of course, if you are able to go and defeat him, that is, as Vegeta went on to then address Ricardi directly by then responding, well, so it looks as though I will finally be able to go and get my hands on you after all, and I must honestly say, Vegeta continues, that even though I find the idea of having you train alongside with me to be just as annoying as it was with what it was that you had mentioned to me just a few moments ago, but I just want for you to know that I am going to thoroughly enjoy this far more than you can possibly hope to imagine, you little furball, Vegeta says. And now that I have been elevated beyond your wildest nightmares as an accepted member of your destroyer ranks, Vegeta adds, just you wait until you and I go and get up close and personal, God of Destruction, and then I promise you that you will fully understand. With Ricardi responding, is that so? Well, then I hope for your sake that you were able to go and back this up the very second that Multis Prime declares for us to go and says, because if you are under the impression that you are truly ready for my style of combat during this training of yours that Beerus wants for you to go and undertake, then I just want for you to know that you are in for a world of pain beyond your wildest
So
imagination.
now Vegeta's now going to a school of destruction.
Yeah.
What if Vegeta went to high school ass niggas? What if Vegeta was reborn with all his powers and had to go back to high school type shit? That's what this is. Shout out to the what ifs, because that's one thing that makes your story writing even better. You throw in some what ifs just to progress the story and depict what if would have happened, but why wouldn't? Some shit like that. Got it right though. Got it right though.
Beerus' system of gods of destruction, for your destructive endurance will go and be tested beyond anything that you have ever experienced with Beerus before, and having to go and drag you into the very pits of the abyss that you actually fear within this realm, as well as having it challenge your very
the only
soul
thing
in
missing
ways
is
that
him
you have
throwing
never
down the
witnessed
Sims
or had been challenged in
like,
ways that you had faced before. But so
Shouts out
as
to
long
Ballman,
as your
Caps
focus remains
you know,
locked on your
they
destructive
make that now.
evolution during your training, Multus Prime continues, then you will go on to emerge anew within the 2-month time span that you have, a Saiyan God reborn from within the voids, for the battles that await you will either forge your lasting legacy or consume you entirely as it destroys you from within. As it was only right then and there now, during that moment, for the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Legacy of the Omniverse, the official top 5 strongest warriors in the multiverse sequel, manga chapter number 26 special, then comes to a close.
Well, actually, I'll go ahead and take it from here, as I do want to go as far as to address something very important with our dear viewers at the moment. As before I go and give you the following information, if you aren't already a member of Unreal's Patreon community, then you are truly missing out on so much without you even knowing, because not only is the next episode already on the page, but if you want to support all of the manga content that you see and gain access to tons of exclusives along the way that range from a variety of different things, then we do encourage for you all to become members of our Patreon community today, for we will link everything down within the description box below and pinned comment section as well. Now I'll go as far as to say that although I am extremely proud to see the realm of the gods finally accept Vegeta as one of their own in officially crowning him God of Destruction status, I am curious to see on just how far both Lord Beerus and Lord Maltus Prime are willing to push Vegeta during his third and final Omniversal training stage, because with the way Piccolo is also seen in training both Trunks and Goten on the Supreme Kai homeworld, I can't help but begin to wonder on just how far everyone is willing to take themselves in preparing before the Omniversal tournament begins, and because of this, you do not want to go and miss out on what is about to happen coming up next. So we hope that you all enjoyed today's video. And before you leave, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up by smashing that like button on your way out, as well as also subscribing to Unreal and Gaming's channel for tons of new Dragon Ball content. So with that, we thank you all so much for watching, as we'll be seeing you all again for the next one.
Now, I know it might be weird, maybe even a little bit sus, but just trust me, okay? Just shove it in your mouth, Catman.
Say what now? I will do no such thing, talking bug man, but what I will do is encourage you all to subscribe to Unrelent Gaming for the latest Dragon Ball content. And while you're at it, make sure to like the video. Also, don't forget to become a member of Unrelent Gaming's Patreon community for more exclusive content, early access, and much, much more. Do it now, or I'll destroy your planet, along with every taco.
Hey, don't just waste the goddamn thing. Pass it here.
Create a life that you can't wait to wake up to. I live that life. I hate to sleep. I hate sleeping.
I've never heard that before.
I hate sleeping.
How much sleep do you get?
Not much.
What's that?
4 or 5 a night. I hate sleep. I love every minute of my life. Love every minute of it. I can't wait to wake up tomorrow. I can't wait to start tomorrow. And when you really feel that way, I shit about a lot of things.
Kaioken.
That one time Goku forgot he could use Kaioken. I gotta appreciate
All right,
Goku.
you
He
guys,
at least
what
make
is
a
going
fight
on? And welcome
interesting.
back to another Dragon Ball video. And Battle Hour is officially less than 1 week away at this point. Yes, next Saturday, everything is kicking off. You guys know what that means. New reveals are right around the corner. And today we actually have a pretty decent sized update that I wanted to go over with you guys pertaining to Battle Hour this year. And we're going to be starting over on the Dragon Ball Games official X account on Twitter. So if you guys enjoy these types of videos and you want to stay up to date with all Dragon Ball content and upcoming reveals and events, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more, and without further ado, let's hop right in. So ladies and gentlemen, just to start off the video, we're going to be over here on the Dragon Ball Games official X account where they're going to be posting the stamp rally for Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour 2026. This is going to re-stamp your way through Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour 2026 for a Dragon Ball Super Card Game Fusion World Collaboration card set exclusive to the event. So this is pretty cool right here. They have, oh, wow, they have a Xenoverse Energy Maker. That's pretty sick. I wonder if these will go to the, I wonder if they'll have digital versions of these or however you're able to upload these cards onto the application online, like the official game application for Dragon Ball Super Card Game Fusion World. I wonder if that's going to be a thing at all, because these will be so sick to actually have in-game. Not even as like, well, I guess you actually could use them since they are energy makers, right? You know, you just need the energy makers themselves, but that would be pretty cool. Also down here, this is just more stamp rally stuff. We even have the Super Saiyan 4 Diamond Goku Energy Maker as well. Let's see what else they have over here. I can't really zoom in on this too much, but I see we have Goku and friends right here. I think this is the 40th anniversary art that we saw from the Geki Diamond Story event, if I'm not mistaken. Then we have the Dragon Ball Fighters, Sparking Zero, Legends. Wow, they have. That's crazy. They made energy makers for all of the cards, for all of the games that are going to be at the event. That's pretty sick. And then down here, DBS Hype is going to upload throwback to the only Battle Hour cinematic opening that exists today. They haven't made another one like this yet. So this right here is the last, I think, cinematic opening, because I don't think this is the only one. I can't remember exactly what year this is from. I think either 2023 or 2022. But I'm pretty sure that was one the first year we had Battle Hour, and I think there was one in 2021 as well. Is this 2023? What year is this? Let me see. Okay, this is 2022. I knew it had to be one of those years. I didn't think it was 2024. It definitely wasn't 2025, right? But yeah, hopefully we get another cinematic opening this year, since it's been, what, 4 years since the last one? Actually, yeah, I think they did 3 in a row. I could be mistaken, though. But if we get another one of these, oh my God, Battle Hour is going to be starting off so hype this year. And maybe they even throw in, like, some type of cinematic animation, like throwing in the main character from Age 1000 as well. I think that would be pretty fire. But next, we're going to go over here to Spider-Man's account over on Twitter, and we're going to go over to the official Dragon Ball website after this. But we have a new update regarding Dragon Ball Super Beerus that's going to be announced at Battle Hour as well. So Spider-Man's tweet is going to read, Dragon Ball official site on things to look forward to regarding Dragon Ball Super Beerus. The enhanced version of the Dragon Ball Super anime, Dragon Ball Super Beerus, was announced at the Dragon Ball Super or Dragon Ball Genki Diamond City event in January of this year. This announcement generated a ton of buzz, and this panel will reveal the latest info about the anime. Make sure to stay tuned on the day of to see just what gets announced. Right away, honestly, I think that they'll probably have like the producers out there. They'll talk a little bit about reiterating a lot of the things that they talked about at the January event. And then I think the main announcement for Dragon Ball Super Beerus will probably be like them officially stating the episode length, even though that's kind of been leaked already. We already expect it to be around 6 to 8 episodes. And then officially telling us the release date of the first episode, like when the series is officially going to start later on this fall. That's what I'm mainly expecting for Dragon Ball Super Beerus. I'll be surprised if it's really anything else. Like I said, I expect them to talk about it for a little bit, maybe show a couple of more screenshots, maybe a clip or two from the first episode, and just showing the differences between the original Dragon Ball Super and then the new Dragon Ball Super Beerus. So I don't expect this to be a super long panel. Again, I think the main news will just be when exactly, like, what is the day that the series is going to start later on this year. And then we can go over here to the official Dragon Ball official website. And this is something that was just uploaded, I think, yesterday or the day before. Yeah, April 10th.
Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour 2026 coming soon. Here's everything you need to know. So here's our official pre-Battle Hour update from the official Dragon Ball website itself. So this is going to read the Worldwide Dragon Ball Fan Festival Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour 2026 will be held in Los Angeles, California from April 19th to April 20th. But of course, local time is going to be April 18th through the 19th. Now in its 6th year, Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour is an exciting event for fans from around the world to experience the latest and greatest of all things Dragon Ball, including manga, don't get our hopes up, anime, movies, don't get our hopes up, games, figures, toys, and more. There are tons of things planned to let attendees experience all the fun of Dragon Ball firsthand, including exhibitions, on-stage events, interactive booths, and more. This article will give you the lowdown on all the things you definitely won't want to miss. And even if you aren't going out to Battle Hour, like I'm not going out this year, we're still going to be able to experience a lot of this stuff via a stream. So this first section is going to read A Clash of Legends, the Dragon Ball Fighters Masters Showdown. So we already know that the big event for Dragon Ball Fighters is obviously going to be this tournament. And will they be using the new Super Saiyan 4 Daima Goku is actually a pretty good question. I want to know that. So this is going to read the worldwide hit esports game Dragon Ball Fighters will be hosting the Dragon Ball Fighters Masters Showdown, a tournament to bring all the legendary fighters together. And I think I've already seen the, are they going to name all of them? I don't think they named all of them here, but I did see a poster of this fighters event on like the bracket, not the bracket, but like all of the participants on Twitter. It's gonna be the usual names like I think Sonic Fox, Goichi, Yasha, Wade. I think Wawa maybe. But I'm pretty sure I saw Yasha, and obviously it's talking about Goichi right here. I think it probably makes sense for Sonic Fox to be there. And then obviously you have a bunch of the other French guys too who kind of ran this game for the past like 3 or 4 years, right? So this tournament will feature a total of 8 participants, including 6 that were invited due to impressive track records in previous tournaments, the Evo France runner-up, and a player that will earn entry via on-site qualifiers. Goichi, the 2019 World Tour champion, will also be participating as an invited player. So I guess Goichi is one of those 6 players that got invited. And like I said, I'm pretty sure I saw Yasha, Wade, Wawa, Sonic Fox, maybe Hook Gang God. I hope Hook goes. I hope Hook is playing in this. That's like one of my favorite players of all time. With all the world's greatest players competing to determine the champion, this tournament is sure to thrill not only Dragon Ball Fighters players, but all Dragon Ball fans. And then we're going to move on to the Dragon Ball Super Beerus anime to be revealed at Dragon Ball Super Special Panel at Battle Hour 2026. And this was like the most recent update to the scheduling of Battle Hour. If I'm not mistaken, this was like the last panel to be added. So this is going to read, we already actually read this on Twitter, but this is just, you know, them explaining the enhanced version of Dragon Ball Super's anime. Dragon Ball Super Beerus was announced at the event in January, and we're going to be getting new reveals at Battle Hour this year for an anime. And next, we're going to be talking about Xenoverse 3 finally. Yes, more details about the new game project, Age 1000, to be revealed at Battle Hour this year. This is like the main event for us, right? I mean, obviously, we're excited about getting a new character in Dragon Ball Fighters. It's been, what, like 3-4 years at this point. Obviously, we're excited about Sparking Zero Season 2 DLC, which we've talked about at length for like the past 3-4 weeks at this point. Obviously, we're excited about new Dragon Ball Super Beerus updates, but Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Age 1000 / Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, this is the main event for us. So this is going to read the latest info on Age 1000. A new game project will be announced during the Battle Hour Times on stage event. This event will also include a bunch of the latest from Dragon Ball games and more. And don't worry, guys, after we finish reading this article, we're going to go over to the Battle Hour website, and we're going to look at the exact schedule for all the panels, so you know exactly when you need to be watching to see what you want to see. This event will also include a bunch of the latest from Dragon Ball games and more. Age 1000 was first revealed at Dragon Ball Genki Diamonds 3 in January, of course. Just what kind of gaming experience can fans expect from this expansion of the world of Dragon Ball? Make sure to tune in so you won't miss out on this announcement that fans all around the world are waiting for. And I think below this, they're just talking about the stream schedule. All right, this is actually important for you guys too, so you kind of know when this is going to be streamed, so you're available at the time. So the stream schedule is going to start on the 19th. This is PDT time, so you kind of have to convert it. But up at the top, they already told you the local time for everything. We have the Fighters Masters Showdown. We also have the Dragon Ball Super Special Panel, and we have Battle Hour Times as well. We also have the finals for the tournament too, so they're going to be doing this all in one day. I thought they were going to split up the everything else and then do the finals on Sunday. That's what I initially thought, but either way. So then we're down here. We have Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour 2026 event details. This is just a layout of the event itself, where it's located, the dates, and everything like that. So let's go ahead and go over to the official Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour 2026 website, where we can scroll down here, and there hasn't been too much of an update. They still haven't even put Age 1000 on the participating titles screen, which is weird, but I guess maybe they just want to keep it even for vanity purposes. But if we scroll down here, we can look at the stage info for the entire event. So on day one, on the 18th, next Saturday, we have the movie Dragon Ball Super Broly screening at 11 a.m. at the start of the event. And then after this, we have the Dragon Ball Game Producer special match with Dragon Ball Genshin Squadron. So that's probably also going to be a lot of fun to watch. Then on day two, we have the Dragon Ball Fighters Master Showdown to kind of end off the event, the start of day two. Then we also have the Dragon Ball Super Special panel as well. Then after this is when things really kick off, right? After the Dragon Ball Super Special panel on the second day of Battle Hour, we enter Battle Times, right? Where we go over all of the new information surrounding all of these titles right here, all of the card games, all of the mobile games. We have Xenoverse, Sparking Zero, Genshin Squadron, and of course, new game project Age 1000 / Xenoverse 3. So the second day during Battle Hour Times is when most of us are really going to be wanting to pay attention to the event next week. Then after this, we're going to be ending off the event with the finals of the Dragon Ball Fighters Showdown, the Master Showdown Tournament. So that's going to be really cool. It looks like Battle Hour Times is going to be over an hour long, or about an hour long. So hopefully there's going to be a lot of focus on just these two right here, Sparking Zero and Age 1000. All of these other games, their updates or their new content can kind of be condensed into like 20 minutes, right? We want to know about Season 2 of Sparking Zero. We want to know more about Xenoverse 3. And then we're going to end everything off with the Fighters Master Showdown, which I will definitely be watching. Some of you guys might not be interested in that. Fighters is still the GOAT, man. I'm sorry. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for our latest update pre-Battle Hour 2026. Let me know down below in the comments. Are you guys going to be going yourself in person? Or are you going to be tuning in on stream? Are you going to be, watching the Fighters events, the Fighters tournaments? Or are you only watching for the new games updates during Battle Hour times, which is going to be roughly about an hour long? We also have Dragon Ball Super Beerus panel being displayed there as well. Which again, I assume this will just be, they'll do a lot of the same stuff, reiterate a lot of that they talked about in January. Then they'll also give us an update on when exactly the series will premiere later on this fall. So that's pretty much everything I'm expecting when it comes to Battle Hour this year. A lot to look forward to. Let me know the one thing that you are looking forward to the most down below in the comments. Odds are it's probably Xenoverse 3 for all of us, right? And then Sparking Zero number 2. Let's be honest. But anyways, fellas, that is going to do it for this one. Have a great, great day. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out, please.
Get this big ass bug out my bathroom!
There's no bug here.
Nigga, what the fuck is that?
Shit.
So far too fast for you.
Nigga, what the fuck?
Oh, nah, that bug fucking him. Oh,
Nah, this nigga buying my shit. Let me lock in real quick. Nigga, come here.
Hey, switch him down there, few.
This bug about strong as hell. Weave. Weave, little nigga. I said, come here, nigga. Damn, that ain't doing a thing. This nigga strong than a motherfucker. Weave. Come here.
Do you even listen to yourself? Just now, you called it incomplete, which implies he hasn't fully mastered it yet. And if you're stupid enough to ignore the obvious implications of that, then I don't even know where you get off calling yourself a dog.
Oh, come on. Are you suggesting that he can master Ultra Instinct in the time he has left?
And you'd bet your life on that. 48 minutes. That's all we were given for this tournament of power. Given that brief time span, we Saiyan warriors have shattered our limits time after time. Come on, Kakarot! Find a way! I entrusted everything to you! My pride, my promise, everything! I won't tolerate failure! Trespass into the domain of the gods and use that might to conquer Jiren. Do it, Kakarot!
Of course, y'all know to go check out the big homie at DJ is get one of these exit beats, intro beats, beats in general. You know what I mean? Non-copyrighted music over at the big homies. Just give them shout outs because we appreciate that part of the game, right? Yeah, we put in that work, so whenever y'all like it, y'all use it, and we appreciate that fact, right? Oh, you like that song enough you started just listening to it and using it? Bad. Yeah. So no, I can't tell you go get you nothing good and free. Hell, you might not want free goods.
Remember me when you're far away. I always have a place for you to stay. In the garden, by the door.
I put the big homie on everything. Oh, if I got something to do, let me find a DJ is beat.
Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the garden.
Of course, y'all already know I done posted on the Buy Me a Coffee. But, hey, we definitely gonna make sure y'all go by there, though. You see what I'm saying? Hit the Buy Me a Coffee link. Yeah, we're not supposed to be looking at popcorn at the moment. We're supposed to be looking at Spider Pig. It. Where's it at? Refer creator. Which y'all already know. Anyways, it's on the other computer. We will see y'all next Saturday. If y'all got any videos y'all want to do in the meantime, let me know in the comments and we'll get a review up, talk about it, comment something. You know what I mean?